Hey everybody, welcome to my favorite project of the year, December Daily. And I had intended to do some process videos. That hasn't happened. But what I will do is a walkthrough of where I am right now and kind of tell you where I'm going to go from here. It is December 30th as I am recording this. So I am approximately through with 20 pages, which is not bad. So I got about 5 more to go. I tend to do 25 pages unless I need to do more for whatever. So let me just show you where I am. So I am using the an older Ali Edwards 8x10 album. I think it was Week in the Life. I really loved this with the gold dots. I actually bought 2 and saved them for just in case I didn't like the Christmas release. And this year it was a green stripe, which would have worked. But since I already had this, I saved that money and used it for some other product. So I will just open it up and let me show you how we started off. So last few years, the way we've started is that we've done a table of contents. If you've been following along, you know I like to do my table of contents on my front cover. So I am stamping in a few different fonts the what each of the stories is. So this is really a table of contents of my stories. I'm also doing digitally a December calendar, and that will go on the other cover. So I'll have the table of contents here and the calendar on the back. So just kind of give you a feel for what I did during the month versus what stories I'm telling. And I like to have both of those in this project. For my weekly journal or my monthly journal, I tend to not do December because it's all in December Daily, which means I need both the what I did each day plus the stories of the season. So this time, the product had a lot of these kind of vintage Santa Clauses, and I went in hard on them, and I started with one of the papers was letters to Santa, and I kind of thought, although I don't have kids who write letters to Santa, it'd be fun this year to do my own letter to Santa and have that be my reason why. So the big thing that I wrote about was that December Daily gives me joy. And one of the things I'm looking for in this season is a little bit more joy and peace. I have chosen my word for 2026, which is going to be peace. And so I'm transitioning into peace and rest and relaxation. You'll see that didn't happen as much because it was a little bit crazy here in December. But that was one of the things that I put in my reason why. I did use some flocking here on the deer, on his beard, on his belt, and his boot. And I used sticker paper to put my journaling, and then I signed it down here. So I made this pocket. I think I used my Cricut so that I could attach the reason why and put the reason why in red on top. Just did that on the front and the back. On the back of this, I just have December 2025 and just a little bit of decoration. And then one of the pages in the Ali Edwards set was an early start to Christmas. And I thought that was appropriate to put in here because I have a lot of things that happened before December. And that was kind of just the way my year went, that a lot of the things that I'm documenting actually happened in November. And that will kind of remind me of that as I see this. Then on the back of that, I just decided I needed a full page photo before I got into story 1. And in November, to start the season, I watched the best Christmas movie ever. We can debate all we want about whether or not it's a Christmas movie, but if you're me, it's the best Christmas movie ever. So ho, 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 now Christmas can begin. For those of you that know Die Hard, you know the classic phrase is ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. And I love this movie. Watch it. I've already watched it, I think, 3 times this season. It is just one of my favorite movies. I don't know why, but I love it. Then story 1. So story 1, I used both a 6x8 page and a full page from the kit. And it is the story of us making wreaths. So I journaled about that. But basically, I was able to get the last spot in a wreath making class at our local brewery. And John and I were able to make wreaths that will be in our house for just a little while. They ended up shedding quite a bit, so we took them down, but loved how they looked. And this is just kind of that story. I cut out all of the pictures in circles and put them around the page. I actually popped them up a little bit so they have some dimension. Finished with a little bit of stamping here and a star sticker. So, story 2 is a holiday market story. We went to a holiday market. This is one of those things that happened in November, and I just used one of the layout templates. So, 8 by 10 layout template. I love those. I love that Ali Edwards store has those. To me, this is a great way to make a good if you have a lot of pictures, or if you need to kind of balance thick, heavy, embellished pages with this kind of flat page. The layered templates are a way to do that. So this one was jolly, and it has the pictures of us going to the holiday market at Mohegan Sun. Tells the story of what we did and where we went. Story 3 is a 2x2 pocket page with the snow brads from my little scrapbook store, or snow sequins from my little scrapbook store. This is telling the story of me driving to Canada for work, and I happened to pick the one day that there was the biggest storm in New York to drive through New York. So it was kind of interesting. So I have like the pictures of the time that I'm there going up and up and up, pictures of me at the rest stops. And then when I finally got to Canada, one of the local beers, what it looked like from my window, and then some stories about the snow, and then finally me with that cute little moose they had decorated giving the training. So I was there for work to give training, and everything went fine. It was just took me about 2 hours longer than normal. So this page 4 is story 4 is something I did before December, and I was just playing around with some of the supplies I had, and I had this prompt paper that said 4 joyful things. I had this 3x8 transparency, and I had one felt 4, and I thought this would be a really cool page kind of to stick together to make. I had the red velvet trim, and in my head I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And then when it came to document, I decided to do 4 new joyful things that I got this year. So my new red cup from Starbucks, my new gnome that I got from the holiday market, the new trees we put out in the front door, and finally some new stockings. So I did those, and I used these tags that were from, I think, last year. It could even be the year before, but I used those, and I ended up, for some reason, loving these tags this year. So you're going to see them pop up in a few places. Okay, so story 5 is my first kind of big story that goes across multiple pages, and sometimes you're just going to have those. This is the story of the Candlelight Processional at Epcot that we went to when we saw Ashley Eckstein she's the original Ahsoka for Star Wars fans, and she did the Candlelight Processional at Epcot, and so I have the picture of the choir. I have this transparency, this peace and joy. As you remember, that's my theme, and this certainly was a peace and joy moment. I have my journaling that, once again, I typed on sticker paper and put on here, and then some pictures of us seeing it. I made this into a shaker pocket, put the word believe on here with the number 5, and I embossed the words peace, joy, and light, and then underneath them I wrote with Sharpie, pray for, so it's pray for peace, joy to the world, and be the light. I think that was really fun. I didn't do any other embossing or any other embellishment on these pictures. I think they kind of speak for themselves. But what a wonderful kind of experience. If you ever get to go to Disney World or Disneyland, because they have it there too, during the holidays, the Candlelight Processional is something that I would recommend highly. Day 6 is when we saw the White Christmas presentation here locally. You can see it's the Columbia Inn. Goodspeed Musicals. So I used one of the pockets to put our brochure in, and then using the frames from the add-on to frame either it's upside down, sorry, some information about the musical that was in the foyer there, some pictures of John and I, and then once again printed my journaling on sticker paper. This is kind of a theme on a 4x6 card with the big White Christmas capturing this moment in time, and then our tickets. So that was super fun, and I enjoyed that immensely. And then finally on the back, I have that red velvet trim again. You're going to see a lot of velvet too. And this was a picture of us in the foyer of the Goodspeed. Day 7 is the holiday storytellers from Epcot. Another thing that I love about Epcot is most of the countries have a story about the tradition they have for the season, whether it is in France, Père Noël, or Italy, the La Befana, the Christmas witch, China, the dragon for New Year. We have all kinds of interesting things here, and I used a 3x4 card holder, page protector. I fussy cut out these Santas, put them on a transparent background or a vellum background, and then I used a flip up for my journaling. I had journaling on both sides, so they have a Hanukkah storyteller. They have in Japan, they talk about New Year's and the traditions of New Year's. So it's really fun. This year they had a German puppeteer that was new this year, so it was kind of interesting. Anyway, so that's what I did for Story 7. Story 8 is, and I'm covering up my address here, but there's an 8 underneath there, is the tradition we started, which is to mail our Christmas cards from Disney. So this is our Christmas card right there in that. And then we stamped at the 4 different parks. We went to the 4 different parks, guest relations centers, and each of the 4 parks have a different stamp. So depending on which day, so here's us stamping or mailing from the different parks, and this says Mailing Joy, because that's really how I felt. So depending on which one you got, you may have got a stamp from me from one of the 4 parks. I really liked the way I used those frames. However, in my head, these were 3-inch wide frames, so this was 9 inches. In reality, this is a 12 inches because there's 3 4-inch frames. So it sticks out. I've decided to be okay with that. It sticks out from the album just a little bit when I close it, but it's okay, and I love this page, so I've decided to live with it. I love the way and you can kind of see it here. It sticks out about 1 inch. I love the way the Mailing Joy looks. I just think it's so much fun. So sometimes you make mistakes, and then you just have to live with it. Day 9 is another one of the, and I'm covering up my nephews' faces because they are underage and not on social media. This is a page we went home for St. Louis and saw some lights at different light shows at St. Louis, both at the Botanical Garden and at the Budweiser brew lights. And so that is a page of this, and was able to document that. It's another one that happened before December, but I wanted to make sure that I had it as part of my storytelling. Story 10 is story of the parties at Disney that we went to. We went to both Jollywood Nights and the Mickey and Minnie's Very Christmas Party. I have a little bit of journaling down here. I did all of this and this page just in Photoshop using the layered templates. So, like I said, I can't talk enough about how much I love the layered templates. I think they're fun. I think they add a flat page with some dimension looking to your albums without adding a lot of bulk. And I just think that's just the best thing to do. Now, speaking of bulk, day 11, while we were watching a movie, I sat down and I stitched all of this green inside this tree. I just wanted to do one of those messy trees. I stitched that. I added these cute little, what are they called? Lights. Lights. And this more twinkle lights from this year's, oh my gosh, ornament. Boy, guys, it's been a long day. I did that and used the word 11 down here in red letters to document this picture, which also these are actually done on Photoshop as well. I adhered it down before I remembered to staple them, so we're not going to staple, but you could have stapled to add a little bit of texture. But this was the bokeh tree shoot. You can see I added these cute little red Mickeys. The bokeh tree at Disney World that adds this really cute Mickey Mouse bokeh effect to the lights in that Christmas tree. And I had my own personal photo shoot. John was saving a spot somewhere, and the PhotoPass lady had nobody there. So I said, oh, okay, I will come and take a picture. And I love how that turned out. This was not originally going to be in my album, but when I saw that photo, I was like, I need to have this in my album. So originally I was going to have one page for Jollywood Nights and one page for Mickey Minnie's Very Merry Christmas Party. And instead, I ended up still using 2 pages for that and put all the other pictures for the party on one page, and this is a separate page. So sometimes you have to pivot when you have your original story plans just to make room for really good pictures. On the 12th, I met with my team, my work team, my women's group, and we did a Christmas kind of storytelling. We use a spinning wheel and ask questions of each other. And this is the screenshot of the team's photo. Also, none of them have agreed to be on my social media, so they're covered up. But I used the Be Merry page and used the flip up. This was a huge kind of all the rage this year. This was the one that kind of went viral. I think everybody expected those snow globes to go viral, but man, this Be Merry page and using it as a flip up, I've seen it in so many ways. I absolutely loved it. I used mine as one big flip up, put the trim on it like Allie did, cut out the little circle, and this is bothering me because it's peeling a little bit, but I'll fix that later. But I love how this page turned out. I did put this on a page attacher so that I didn't have to worry about the holes over here. On the back of this page, 13, is a story about seeing the Voices of Liberty, which are the a cappella group in Epcot. This is another one of my favorite parts, and I just made a flip up. I did some scallop edges around the Fa La La paper. I used the Fa La La transparency, put the 13 there, used some washi and some tabs just to make a flip up, stamped Voices of Liberty, and then did some little bit of journaling. This is one of those pages that it's super simple, but has a lot of impact. And I every time I get to this page, I flip it. It's just so much fun. And I also backed this with the same, what I'm noticing now, it's upside down, and I'm just going to be okay with that. But I guess it's upside down just like that one's upside down. Okay. We're going to be okay with that. Then the next page is 14, and this was when we were heading home, and I was really ready to be home, and I wanted to tell that story, and I had a lot of journaling to say. So I picked one of the 3x8 cards that had Oh My Heart, and I paired it with the photo that Belle took the morning of the 14th that showed us the snow at home. And then I added, because this was kind of our frame of our door, I added some word stickers. But basically, I'm telling the story how I'd been gone for a long time with Thanksgiving and a trip to Canada and then Disney. And I was really ready to be home and to be cozy and to be in my house in letting Christmas kind of start. And now, story 15 is another one that I had not expected to be a story. So this is one, I took this picture to kind of showcase like the new stockings we got, and I didn't expect this to be a story, but when I saw it, I just said this is a perfect full page story. It shows kind of my mantle of decorations with my baskets and my Mickey Mouses and the trees and all my new stockings and the stamping tags that I did for people. And I just decided I wanted to print this photo, and I put around the tree because this is what we have around our tree. And I did the 15 with the little tree there, tree here, and I love how this turned out. This is just a photo. This is almost just a scrapbook page, just a photo with some few embellishments. And I thought about putting ribbon or pom-pom on here, but it wouldn't go with this page. So I've decided because this page needs to be kind of solid, I decided not to do ribbon on this page or pom-pom trim. Now we're skipping 16 and 17 because I don't have them done yet, and honestly, I don't know what I'm doing yet. But for 18, we did another show, and this time we did the Iverton Playhouse Jamboree. So I took the brochure for that, and I cut out pages that didn't matter, and then in some of the pages I put pictures. So I put little tabs. So this is the picture of us out front, picture of us in our seats, picture of the Jamboree on the stage, and then, see if I can get to it, the picture of us sitting in the Playhouse Holiday Jamboree with the stage, and then finally the picture of the Christmas tree they had on the stage. I think I'm probably going to go and add a star to that. I haven't done that yet, but I am probably going to add a green or a white star right there. That's as far as I've really gotten. I think that I'm going to use this before day 25. I have one vellum piece printed. This is us on the beach on the 25th, and it says Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night. And it has kind of, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to watch the sunset on the beach, and I got to share it with my parents. So I printed this in vellum just to kind of give it that look. I'm 100% sure I will have another Christmas picture that I don't know what it is yet for the 25th. And then to end the album, I have this cute little card that says peace and to all a good night. And it just has my favorite memories of this season. And then kind of just, this is what I did after 10 days of having all the people at my house. Took a bath, took a picture of my cute little red toes in the bathtub, and did peace. So that's where I am. So if we were to look at this and kind of know what I need to do, I need days 16 and 17. And then I need 19 through 25. So we're not doing too bad. Hopefully I will be back with that. I may even, depending on how I am feeling, have a process video for you. But we'll see. We'll see how I'm doing as we progress in this. But that is where I am with the December Daily. I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and hopefully I will get you another one soon. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you in a couple days with the rest of my December Daily. Thanks, everyone.